Hello, everyone. Good evening and Jai Hind. I am Major Mohammed Ali Shah. I was on a panel just now. We were discussing on Manipur, on bringing peace in a beautiful state like Manipur. And I had the privilege of being as a fellow panelist with Mr. Benjamin Mate, who needs no introduction at all. He is a senior leader with the BJP government in Manipur. He is the state education member. He will tell you more on that. And we will
Executive
take
member.
some views. Pardon, sir?
State executive member.
State executive member of Manipur. And we will go ahead more and we'll take his views and we'll ask what he thinks, according to him, could be the way forward to bring peace in a beautiful state like Manipur, with beautiful people over there who has contributed a great deal in nation building. And we definitely cannot ignore a beautiful state like Manipur. My heart bleeds for Manipur because I, by heart, say I too, somewhere, belong to Manipur. So, Mr. Benjamin, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for spending time, sir.
Thank you so much, Major Dr. Ali, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you for spending time, sir. So, what do you think could be the way forward to bring about peace in Manipur, sir?
Dr. Ali, if to be honest, now when we talk about peace, it has been uh, with the passing of time. When we talk about peace, it has been getting more complex. It has been getting more complex, and to be honest with you, had the central government, after the incident happened in 3rd of May, like in the last part of May, it was incident happened in the classes started in 1st of May, but in the last part of May or either in April, if the central government uh, took a serious note of the issue and bring in some changes in the government, things could have been what to say like under control right now. But then, due to inaction of the central government, now many more killings has happened, and the gap between the communities has been widened. And the Kuki community have been compelled to demand separate administration, because we have been already separated physically. And then we are demanding right now, what we are demanding right now is an administration to administer all districts where we are living in right now. So, and if you and the most worrisome about this conflict was the earlier it happens, but it doesn't what to say communalize the entire community. But now when you see about the voices coming out from the valley, and then they try to brand the entire Kuki-Zo community as narco terrorists, and they try to humanize the whole Kuki-Zo community, which has never happened in Manipur. So when conflict happened in Manipur, there are some elements, few elements that used to involve, but now it has become a community-driven kind of conflict, especially from the valley. And the kind of hate that they have against the Kuki-Zo community, that kind of hatred that they uh, conceive conceived by the Meitei community was never expected. So now talking about peace, the only peaceful resolution from this conflict would be what is a giving a separate administration for Kuki-Zo community in the form of union territory, and thereafter then ultimately when we are what is say when we have separate administration, then ultimately over the times that peace we can see permanent peace and tranquility among the two community.
So, this demand for separate administration, which cookies have been demanding, now this demand, for our viewers to understand and to know, this demand came after 3rd of May, or this demand was there before 3rd of May also, sir?
As I just mentioned, it comes after only after 3rd of May,
Okay.
because the Kuki, as you are aware, the Kuki, we have our own militant group, which are never against the Indian state, but they are demanding certain kind of an autonomy within the state of Manipur. First, their demand was Bodoland type of territorial council, because if you see in other parts of entire Northeast, you can see sixth schedule has been implemented in Assam, in Meghalaya, in Mizoram, in all other states of Northeast. But specifically in Manipur, sixth schedule was not implemented, and because of that, the not only the Kuki, the entire tribal, the entire tribal community has been what is lagging behind in development and education and other spheres of life. So because of that, at the passage of time, we have been demanding a certain kind of autonomy, so that the governance can be effective in the rural area, which will strengthen the economy of Manipur, plus which will, what is a, give a level playing field for all the communities living in Manipur. But then that was the demand by all suspension of operation group, the KNO and UPF, and the dialogue has been progressing after BJP came to power, and the dialogue has been accelerated by all central leaders, and think many positive thing has come out. In fact, they were on the verge of signing a final peace agreement, and then unexpectedly this violence came. And now, after the violence came and things has, what to say, unexpectedly blown out of control, and we have no choice, but we are compelled to demand separation from Manipur, which is the only way to save our life and our property, and also uh, for the sake of peace. So that is what we are right now.
So you mentioned about the Kuki militant group, and for as far as my understanding goes, having
Hmm.
served there as HC to the core commander
Hmm.
there in the Assam Rifles, these
Hmm.
are the Sioux groups we are referring to. In 2008, the Sioux, the suspension of operation agreement
Yeah,
was signed.
suspicious. Yeah.
Right. So the Sioux
Hmm.
groups, so you mentioned they are not against the state. They're not against the Indian government. They are
Never.
demanding some kind of an autonomy. That means,
Yeah.
so am I right in understanding that their demand is not for a separate country, the Sioux groups before the suspension of operations, the
Ne-
demand was for autonomy. Am I right?
Never. Kuki has, over the years, has never demand anything that is that can be viewed as secessionist. Our
Okay.
demand was only to secure our right as a tribal given by the Constitution of India. And then the demand made by the suspension of operation group is also within the frame of Indian Constitution, and it has been already implemented in Assam, in Bodoland, which is called Bodoland Territorial Council. So we are demanding the same kind of autonomy for the Kuki people in Manipur, Kuki-Zo people in Manipur, so that since we have been since India got independence, for the past 70 years, we have been lagging in education, infrastructure in our area, in healthcare, in anything, whatever you mention. You go to hill area and you will see the differences between the valley and the hills. So because of that, to bring up the standard living standard plus education and other, what is say, development that has been lagging, so to in the interest of that, we are asking for that autonomy. We never wanted separation from either. We never demanded separation from either, from Manipur state itself. We never thought of breaking away from Manipur itself, or demanding a new state, or demanding like the Meiteis, they are demanding for sovereignty of Manipur. So we never asked for any sovereignty kind of thing, made any demand for sovereignty, or that can be termed as succession. So even from the beginning, or militant group, they have, though we have a in Manipur, the tricky part is every community has their own militant arms organization. The Nagas, they have the Anishin IM, as you must be aware, and the Meitei has more than dozen of it. So even Kukis are compelled to have, we are our own militant organization. That was itself to protect ourselves from other community. So many community classes have happened in the past also. So that is just for protection of our own community. And and after a few years, it was way back in 2085, not mistaken. The government of India, they signed a suspension operation with the all militant group, and
You told which year you mentioned, sir?
in 2008.
Okay, 2008. That's right. It happened in
Yeah,
2008.
2008. They
Right.
came into agreement and they signed suspension of operation, and whereby after BJP came to power, they appointed interlocutor, a former IPS official, a senior IPS officer. He is now what is the interlocutor of the peace talk, and peace talk has been going on. And thereafter, we are hoping that in case this peace talk will be fruitful, and by this time we'll be having certain kind of autonomy, like Bodoland Territorial Council kind of an autonomy in Manipur. But uh, just before signing that final peace pact, this violence has come out, and it seems it has been way, designed by some people, in the valley, and things has blown out of proportion. And unfortunately, we have been overnight. I was on the 3rd of May. I was in Infar. Just imagine that. And my locality was the first to be attacked. And on the
You mentioned
4th,
Technopal, but this, you're talking about the locality in Technopal or your house in Imphal?
no. I live in Infar also.
Okay.
Then I in that Infar ways, which is called Game Village. So our locality was the first to be attacked. And fortunately, because of my security concern, I was provided with state security forces. I was given protection by the state security forces, and because of that, me and my family was safe. Had there was no state security forces guarding me, then I could be the first victim. Even my family and me could have fallen to be the first victim.
So these
And
were the state security forces you mentioned.
yeah, state security
So
forces.
that is the state police, the Manipur police you're talking about.
State Manipur Rifles.
Manipur Rifles protected you.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And then on the 4th of May, without on the 3rd of May, without overnight, there will be we have n numbers of security presence in Infal. The Assam Rifles, CRPF, you can name it. So by after a few hours, the government will rush in, and they will be what to say, they will stop this violence, and on next morning, peace, we will have that normal life kind of thing. So, and then we waited, but the mob has gone burning one locality to another, and then we got a call from friends and relatives, and it has gone out of control. It was blown up. And on the 4th of May, we have no choice. Along with my family, we pack our things in the morning, and then we went ahead and took shelter in the army headquarters. And the army, as many of our people have leader have already said, they are the only saving grace that we have that time at that moment. And then we also made a discreet call to the Central Security Forces, CRPF, and the Assam Rifle. They said that we didn't get any requisition order from the state government, so we cannot act independent. So that was the case. And then the mob was given free hand to do whatever they want. And that is the saddest part of thing. And just imagine, like many, even babies and many childrens, even women were not spared. So, and just majorly to what you say, uh, uh, to to differentiate the kind of violence in the valley and the hills, after the 3rd of May, let me tell you, like in Chuchanpur, More in Tinopal district, and Kangpopi, Lamka, More, and Kangpopi, though Meitei or the valley, the house owned by the Meiteis has been burned down by our people, you won't heard of any civilian being killed there. More, for example, today we had a discussion on More. More, there is on a few sizable population of Meitei. If More population is around about out of 100, Meitei may be around 5-6%. and they are still very, very far away from Imphal. But if the Kuki have intention of killing all the Meitei, we could have killed them on the 3rd of May or the 4th of May, the entire Meitei population in Moreh. But not a single Meitei life was lost on the 3rd and 4th of May in Moreh. That has to be noted. And same goes to Kangpopi and Lamka. Instead, all church community leaders and all elders in the community, they helped them, they escorted them securely to the army camps where they are taking shelter, and that was not happening in Imphal. And I know that I should be honest that there are some few Meitei good fellow who shelter some of the Kuki students studying in their locality, and they keep them safe, and after 2-3 days they send them safely back to home. That I should also acknowledge that. But in the meantime, the mindset of the majority, that was very, very saddening.
Okay, Mr. Benjamin, I heard there are two observations I made while you were speaking. One was you were protected by the state forces, the state police force, that the
Yeah,
Manipur Rifles you mentioned. One is
yeah,
that.
yeah. Mm,
Second, you even acknowledge the fact that a lot of some Maites had also protected some cookies, and similar stories I have heard that some cookies
mm,
also had protected Maites, and that gave me a lot of hope. That means there's
mm,
still a ray of hope. Not all is
mm,
lost. I
mm,
that's what gives me hope. So what I
mm,
have been made to understand is that
mm,
apparently cookies say that they don't have faith in the state government or the state forces. And
mm,
here is a story. Here you're telling us that you
mm.
were protected by the state forces, which is isn't that you don't you think that's a good sign,
No,
sir?
no, in that time, at that specific time, at that moment, during that time, the the state forces were mix of the Kukis, Meiteis, Nagas, and Muslims, like Pangal we call in Manipur.
Pangal, yeah.
So
Like in
yeah, yeah,
1972,
yeah, yeah,
Alimuddin,
yeah,
Muhammad Alimuddin was the chief minister of Manipur. He was
yes,
a
yes,
Pangal,
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, the
right?
first one of our famous chief minister. So it is that time. Even the state forces, they haven't take side during when the violence broke out. And then on the fifth, and then after 2-3 days, even the state security has taken started taking sides. They sided with the Meitei, sided with the Meitei, and then most of the Kukis, they are helpless in the valley, so they have to what to say run to their safety. So that is the kind of thing. And just imagine after among the police officers in Manipur, most of the top-ranking police officers are from our community, and immediately they removed the DGP, who is a Kuki, without any reason. And then even just imagine the IGP, the ADGP, they are totally helpless. And I have spoken to some of them, and they say that we requested all subordinates who are supposed to be Meitei to protect certain kind of their house or their locality, but they won't listen to them. So they're helpless. If the state security forces were neutral, and then most of the Kuki locality in Imphal, just a few locality only, they could have been saved. So, especially the community who are living in Imphal, most of their forces or everyone has been radicalized before, and we never see that coming, and that was all fault. That was all fault. Had we had any sign that this could happen, uh, we could have what to say leave that infall early, and then there will be no killings. Or in fact, we could have been more prepared to protect ourselves, but we were totally taken by surprise.
You are from Technopal, sir,
Yeah.
and just 2 days back, I think yesterday, I think probably yesterday or day before yesterday, there was a big fire in Moray. I mean, I'm not
Mm,
getting into how that fire happened and what happened.
mm,
I'm not getting into that.
yeah.
I want to know how this fire, which broke out,
Mm.
how this fire was doused, sir.
Uh, Major, unfortunately, it is a fact that the houses was burned by the state commandos.
No, I don't want to talk about
Yeah,
how
no,
and
no.
what had happened,
And then it was burned by the state
because I don't know.
commandos.
I don't want to get there. I don't want to, because I
And
don't
then,
want people to have any kind of animosity. There's a lot of hatred as it is. People are, a lot of lack of trust is there. I just want to know how that fire. See, I'm not talking about who,
now,
when,
now,
how.
Mr.
Right.
Ali, what before the fire, did that fire started first in Kananweng, which is More Ward number. Kananweng is under More Ward number 7, and there one Mount More Public School was burned, and another Kuki Christian Church was burned. And then second incident happened in Paichangwang, where you just mentioned that uh, the fire brigade from Burma, they come and douse of their fire. So, and then in that Paichangwang, one there is one school called Dr. Corvin School, and one Zogam Hotel, and then the other a private residence has started burning. And that time, since fighting was going on between the Kuki village volunteers and the Meitei state commandos, so people are running here and there, and then at the moment there was nobody to douse of the fire, and even people are scared to go out because most of the local people, they told me that it was especially the state forces who burned the house, who burned down the houses. So for them to, in front of that state forces, they cannot just go and douse of the fire because they are scared that they can be shot by the state forces. And despite having all fire services in Moray, and the health, I don't know who contacted the Burma fire service station Tamu. They came down, the fire services from that all neighboring country came and dose of the fire, and that is very shameful. Despite we have lots of security presence in Moray, despite having fire service service station in Moray, and then all neighboring country came down to those of the fire civilian, those of the fire that is burning the civilian houses in Moray inside India, which is very shameful.
I was interviewing Mr. Khankulal Hokib last night as the official
Hmm.
spokesperson of the Kuki NP from More, and he told me about this incident, and I was very shocked. I was
Hmm.
very surprised. In fact, I saw the video as well. I don't know whether I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. It's rather
Hmm.
very unbelievable for me. I mean, that such a thing could happen. And if a foreign country is sending the fire brigade in our country to
Hmm.
save our people who are Indians, I really don't know if it's true, if it's to be believed, then
Hmm.
I just hang my head in shame. I don't know what to say
Uh,
further because
Major, in normal circumstances in the past also, that taking that file service from taking the help of file service from Burma, it really happened in Moray, because Moray
in
has
past,
been, yeah, in
in
the
the
past
past.
also, yeah, in the past also, when we don't have adequate file service fire station equipments properly, normally we used to ask help from Burma. So because it is just a stone throw away from Moray to next Burmese town, that is Kotamu. I think you must be aware of that.
I know Tamu.
So
I've been
yeah.
there. I
Hmm.
mean, see the
Yeah,
where More and Tamu is the red and white bridge.
yeah.
I know that. I'm very
There is,
familiar with that red and white bridge,
yeah,
sir.
there is only one river that is called Menal, which is separating the two countries. So it is close by. So we live as just a neighbor and a friendly neighbor. So normally in the past also it happens. Because Moray, they used to have that kind of fire incidents during summer, not in winter. Winter this time, yeah, it is intentionally burned by somebody. In during summer, there was lots of fire incidents in the past also. Yeah,
No, many of my electronic goods over here, they're from More. In fact, from the
yeah.
market over there. Many
Mm.
of them. I mean
And then, Mr. Ali, let me also mention there are lots of people saying that people say lots of what you say cookies are coming from Burma, and then they're leaving. Lots of cookie illegal immigrants from Burma are living in India and all sort of things. Let me tell you one thing about uh, the situation of that the or neighbors country, and that Tamu that we call Tamu. there were most of the majority of inhabitants could be all Gorkhas from Gorkhas community in Tamil, though it
Yes.
is inside Burma. And then if you remember, there is one number two gate market that is called Nampalong Bazaar.
Very
Nampalong
well.
Bazaar.
Very well.
Yeah, Nampalong is the village. The name the that Nampalong village itself is a Kuki village, inhabited entirely inhabited by the Kuki. And then just imagine, it is now when the conflict started. There are lots of Tamils in Tamil also. Tamils. They speak both
Correct.
Tamilans and Burmese.
Yeah, yeah, I know there are a lot of South
And
Indian
then
restaurants in
yeah,
More.
and
Italian
then
restaurants, idli, sambar, rasam, chutney we've
yes,
had over
yes,
there.
yes,
In fact,
yes, yes.
when we drove down, we were driving down from Imphal, we crossed
Yeah, yeah.
Kakchin, we
Mm-hmm.
crossed Thobel, then Kakchin, and we
Mm.
left, we bypassed Sorabasti, which is of the
Yeah.
Bengals. In fact.
Yes,
We,
yes, yes,
we
yes.
bypassed Sorabasti and we went straight towards
Mm.
Palel and then your hometown, of course,
Yeah,
Tengnopan,
Tenopal,
and then More,
which is a beautiful hill station. Yeah. Mm.
hill station. In
And
fact,
then
we saw
yeah,
the,
yeah.
that's right.
And then if from Tenopal, if you go down to More, you have a hot climate again, a warm climate, and then Tamu and More, the climates are same. And then, as I said, after the conflict started in Burma, even not only the Kuki, even the Indians, mostly mainland Indians, but who is now already Burmese, they also freed inside More. And then I was there during that time. There was no conflict, so I was there to help them also, to provide them some rations and whatever kind that I can, in my own capacity, help them. And now only pointing one community as illegal immigrant by certain community, which is totally unfair.
You
Which
mentioned
is totally
about
unfair.
in the beginning you mentioned about the militant groups which every community has. In fact, you had
Hmm,
mentioned about the
hmm,
Naga that have the NSCN, the Maithil
hmm,
have the PLA you mentioned, and
hmm,
of course there were other groups as well. That time there was
hmm,
QIKL, there was Pre
hmm.
Park, there was UNLF.
UNLF. Hmm,
Signed a peace agreement, and
hmm.
so the two groups of the cookies you mentioned about them,
Yeah.
which in 2008 they've signed a peace
Hmm.
agreement, because previously there have been clashes, like in 93 there
Yeah.
was a Hindu Muslim clash. I would call it the
Hmm.
Pangal and the Maite
Yeah.
clash. In 94 the Naga Cookie clash. In
Yeah.
97
Yeah. Yeah.
it was an in-house fighting among the cookies. In fact, it was the Thadao
Hmm.
speaking cookies and the
Ah, yeah.
the cookie mummies. They had clashed, and they had
Hmm.
been driven to from North Manipur
Hmm.
to Chashanpur. So the
Yeah.
very fact is, so tell me, I just want to understand. You had
Hmm.
mentioned that, because when I was with the Assam Rifles, I
Hmm.
had very close interaction with the NSCN, with the
Hmm.
NSCN IM and NSCN K, which was on a ceasefire with us, in fact.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when you mentioned about, so what was the need to, in fact, so that is for what the militant groups that one is forming is
Hmm.
for what? What is the basic purpose? You had mentioned that the cookie groups, apparently it was for having a certain amount of autonomy. You had mentioned that in the beginning.
Major, uh, to be frankly speaking with you, the Cookie, we never have that kind of intention to have an armed organization. Had we wanted that kind of thing, we could have started in way back in 60s and 50s, where other community have what is it, building up their own armed organization. And if you go back to the history of the Kuki, we have been one of the I can say we are one of the most nationalists thrive in India, because in in the past, in 1917 to 1919, or they fought the British for 2 years, 2 long years. And if you see the kind of casualty that British has suffered, that from a small tribe, that Kuki tribe, you won't find that kind of what to say in that kind of history in entire India. And in India, many of our kings and many of our people have fought the British, but they haven't stood for 2 years. But the Kuki, the small tribe Kuki, we fought the British for 2 years. We sustained the fight with British for 2 years. Just imagine that. And thereafter, in during the Second World War, what happened was when India National Army in Azad Hind Force, they along with the Japanese force, it was say Tamu in that Tamu area where they started entering India. So when they started entering India, so most of our forefathers, grandparents, they joined the INA proudly, and they fight alongside the Indian Army. And after Indian gained independence, for to be inducted in the Indian Army, it has to be either Gorkha or the Kuki, because that time Gorkha and the Kukis are considered as the most brave soldiers among the Indian Army. Indian Army. So if you're a Kuki, you don't need to do any physical or what is say any kind of what is say scrutiny that army for recruiting an army. You have to go through lots of scrutiny. But for if you call yourself a Kuki or Gorkha, then you don't need that kind of thing. You can just join the Indian Army. So that is how if you see an Assam Rifle history or Assam regiment, they are the first kind of regiment that the Assam Rifle was the oldest force in Northeast. So if you see the history of Assam Rifle, you will see lots of Kukis name, bravery award, lots of. I think you are part of Assam Rifle. You must be aware of that. It is the fact.
Very much, very much. In
That is
fact,
the
the
fact.
Assam
So we
Rifles is
joined. Yeah, after the Second World War, we joined the Indian armed forces in large number. So most of our people, they have taken their oath under the flag of India, Indian flag. So they never had that kind of intention to do something that will harm the Indian forces or India, integrity of India. So that is the kind of motivation that we have. And then for Kuki students, most of their main dream was to become either an IAS, IPS officer, or army officer. And we have never been interested in politics. Though now some people are projecting us that we have been kind of secessionists or what not. So and then what happened was in during that time the Indonesian that time Mr. Fizo NNC movement has started. They have been demanding for complete sovereignty from India, to have a kind of a country for separate country for the Nagas. In the meantime, the Meiteis community, they have been demanding for the UNLF, PLA. In the 70s, they have started to coming up with a movement for securing the sovereignty of Manipur. But then Kuki were never interested, and unfortunately, on 1993, because of when the Naga Anishin IM started demanding taxes from Kuki chief in Mozo, in Okrul and other Kuki and Naga mixed habitat areas, then they started resisting. And that time we don't have any automatic rifle or arm organization that time. And unfortunately, many from both community, many have died. There was big classes. Then thereafter, some of our Kuki leaders have also realized that we need to have certain kind of an armed organization to protect our land and our people for own safety. Because that time it was the same as what happened right now. The central security forces and state security forces who was supposed to protect us was not able to protect us, and we lost lots of innocent villages. Many of our house has been uprooted. So that compelled us to have an armed organization, and later on, there was lots of classes between among the cookies also, as you mentioned. Not only between Thado speaking and Pete speaking, but even among the Thado speaking also. We have lots of classes. I think you might
yeah,
you get
the
some
Hawkins,
reference.
Indian, Khongsais are Thadao speaking.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
There
the
was lots of
Guites
class.
or Hongdays or
Yeah, yeah,
Voltes, or they
yeah. And
would
then
be the Paites. So,
yeah, because
Gamkes
we
would be
don't have
Migos.
had we have that kind of objective light demanding what you
The
say.
beauty lies. The beauty is we all won. The
Yeah,
beauty is we all won. That's the
no,
beauty of
Mr.
it.
What
And the beauty is we all Indians.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
you are my brothers and sisters.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's
We have,
why I felt hurt about the fact that when, if at all, that if I were to
hmm,
believe, and if at all that's true, the fire brigade thing,
hmm,
in my our own countrymen are
hmm,
in danger. Somebody,
hmm,
a foreign element comes and saves us. That is something which was really hurtful. I mean, it
hmm.
really pained me to actually, if at all that was
No, yeah.
to be true.
Mr. That fire brigade thing, it was, as I told you, it happens before also. Whenever there is kind of file incidents in Moray, since the next Burmese town is close by, we used to the state administration whoever presence in Moray, like additional deputy commissioner or the police or anybody they call help from Burma, and normally they used to come and dose out the file in Moray town. So it is not a new thing, no, not a new incident. And coming to what I just said, so when had the Kuki Zo people have the kind of ambition of demanding certain kind of separation from India or anything, we could have been united when we have that arm organization. So without proper kind of demands or proper kind of objective, later on what happened was everybody have their own arm organization among the Kukis and Kukis or people. So there was fractional killings and lots of things happened. And later on, the suspension operation came, and then the Indian Army has what is say control most of the SO group, and they have their own what is say they call it operation area of the SO group. They give them a different group had different certain kind of control area, and the other group if they cross that control area, then army will what is it rain upon them. So that is how peace has been maintained inside the Kuki Zo community. And later on, the leaders they came together and they started they demand for not to separate from Manipur, but they demand some kind of autonomy for the people. And even that was opposed by the state government. Just imagine that. And now what happened was, after that incident, we have been, as I said, we have been compelled to demand separation from Manipur, because now forget about people who lost their life or whose family has been killed. So even the Intel community, the Intel Meitei community CSO, they have declared war on the Kuki. That Kokomi, you might have seen it, that Kokomi has openly declared war against the Kuki. So with that kind of situation, how can we think about peace or staying now what is say to remain in Manipur? That is totally impossible. So the only option right now is in the interest of maintaining strengthening Indian security, Indian security in the border. The Kuki, not only for the Kuki, it is in the interest of India that we are demanding a union territory with legislative power. When it comes to union territory in that part of that, most of the Kuki area lies between in the border of Burma in India, then the security aspect of this that particular union territory will be directly handled by the central government, not by the state. So when the center directly handle the security aspect of that particular area, that insurgency problem, what is a insurgency taking what is a has settled in across the border in light Burma, that will never happen again, and we'll see complete peace in that area. And then second thing is, there we can accelerate that egg east policy in a proper manner, and we can see lots of and we will be able to see lots of development and development coming up in that area, which will benefit the entire country, particularly the local community. So that is what we aspire for.
Right. You have really thrown some very good points for me to understand. And before I
Mhm.
let you go, I have one last question for you. You
Mhm.
are a senior leader with the ruling government, with the ruling party, with the political party which is in power, the BJP.
Yeah. Mm.
And the chief minister is from your party, is from BJP. So have
Mm.
you tried reaching out to him, being a senior member of the BJP party, and tried talking out things? Because I have seen many cookies have growled against the chief minister.
No. I don't think any of the Kuki community, especially the Kuki community, uh, will agree to speak to the chief minister, especially the chief minister, because he's the main guy who is creating all these kind of violence and who is orchestrating uh, and targeting the Kuki. And when Biren Singh, in fact, I'm more senior to him in the party. He was later on, he joined the party from the Congress, and then like he was lucky that he become a leader. So, not that I want to demean him, but when he first took over as chief minister, he launched lots of flagship program like Go to Hills and then Go to Village kind of thing, and which is very we think that, oh, he's a good leader. He's somebody who is thinking about the hill people and kind of thing. And after at the end of his first tenure, then he started developing. He started what is say playing the divide and rule policy among the tribals, and speaks. And then I have many of our friends, as well as I also personally have came across that he is talking nonsense about the Kuki people. And when he met the Kuki people, he'll talk nonsense about the Muslim community and the Nagas. And then when he met Nagas and Muslim community, he'll talk something bad about the Kukis. So he's playing that kind of politics, and from there onward, I become critical of Mr. Pire, and we have already told many of a central leader that if Biren Singh remain with the chief minister, then Manipur will break down. We have already warned them way 3 4 years back, and election happens. I was during the state last assembly election. I was part of the manifesto committee of the party, state party, and I was also the convener of media. I was in charge of media management, and I'm also election in charge looking after the Lamka Chuchanpur district, Lamka, which is the largest tribal district in Manipur. We have 6 assembly seats in that district, so I was in charge of that. And we work
And
hard, and then
Parbung, Parbung, they come under
yeah,
Chuchanpur
and
only.
then from there, the Kuki, since we have a political dialogue with the at that time Honorable Home Minister during his election campaign, Mr. Amit Shah, in Lamka and Kangpopi, he assured that if you re-elected BJP government and reinstalled BJP government in Manipur, then he will bring a peace for the Kuki people, especially he will bring political solution for the Kuki. And I was in charge of that organizing that meeting. And because of that, we Kuki people wholeheartedly worked for BJP and voted BJP back to power. And Biren Singh again, he became chief minister, and then and now Biren Singh has spoiled everything that Amit Shahji has promised to us. So, and right, uh, Major Saab, I don't want to speak this in the live discussion, but uh, Mr. Biren Singh, had he followed the constitutional procedure properly, without any favor or having that kind of a motive to suppress certain kind of community, Manipur could have been peaceful, developed, and cool. And he is acting against the guidelines, the constitutional guidelines. So because of that, there was uneasy feeling among the Kukis and the tribals, not only the Kukis, the whole tribals. So, and the violence started. They are picking up the Kuki only on the 3rd of May. That rally, solidarity, tribal solidarity rally was not organized by the Kuki people. It was organized by all tribal student union of Manipur. It was held in Intl tribal district of Manipur. It was not organized by the Kuki people. And just imagine that most of the Meitei people or Meitei brothers, they said that the violence started because of that rally. that is totally wrong. If you can go back on the 2nd of May, what happens in Manipur? You can Google it, you can find it out. On the 2nd of May, Mr. Biren Singh and the MLA of the Moirang Assembly constituency, which is just adjacent, just bordering of Lamka town, they organized one public rally, and then they say that they call out Kuki as refugees, and then they started what they say talking shit about the Kukis people in that public rally, huge public rally in that evening, second evening. And on the third of on the morning of 3rd May, in Hurai Assembly constituency, in Moirang, and most of the Kuki, what they say, the highway that passes through the Kuki area has been blocked by the Meiti already. And now they say that Kuki has started the violence on 3rd of May. That is not completely wrong. It is already in social media. If you can Google it, you can find it, all the video clips that I told you. So, and the violence that happens on 3rd of May, it is pre-planned, and then it was well orchestrated by the chief minister. Just imagine that before the 3rd of on the February, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in February, Armed Forces Special Power was removed from the valley, Intl Valley, most of the valley. We can say the Intl Valley in Manipur, whereas it remains with the hills. In hill area, if you see now, with the peace talk with Naga insurgent group, the NSNIM, there was no clashes between Central Security Force and NSNIM. So, our imposition of armed forces power in that Naga area is totally ridiculous. And the same goes to Kuki area. Kuki have never had any firing exchange with the Indian security forces. Okay, so Kuki area has never been disturbed, despite most of the killings of security forces happen in Kuki area, because the Meitei underground who are taking shelter in Burma, they used to sneak into the sneak into the Kuki area, and they used to ambush the Indian security forces. Otherwise, the Kuki people are never against the Indian security forces or for India or Indian government. We have been supportive of Indian security forces, and you yourself are the example. You know how Kuki peoples have been cooperating with the Central Security Forces over the years. So, imposition of armed forces peace of power in Kuki area and Naga area, and repealing of their armed forces peace of power in Meitei area was what is say there was an intention for allowing armed militia, the armed by Tingona, roaming freely with arms in Impar area. And since there is no armed forces special provoked, army cannot do anything. They cannot arrest, they cannot do any kind of operation in Imphal Valley. So their hands have been tied. Had that armed forces special power was not removed from their area, in valley area, now army could have acted it, and then all those 4,000 or 5,000 arms that have been looted from the state security forces could have been recovered now. So when you see that what is happening in Manipur bit by bit, you will see the larger picture, how things has been planned long ago by the people who are in power in the state.
Yeah, I really feel very pained, and somehow this I can't go on further. It is very dangerous for the country, it's
And
detrimental for the country. We
and
were
then
doing so well. Manipur
uh,
had organized the FEMLA West India international
mm,
polo tournament. Where not?
yes, yes,
Mirabai Chanu, Mary Kom, Ratan Tayam. We have so many people.
mm,
We have people in the armed forces from all. In fact, I was in the Assam Rifles. So Assam Rifles,
mm,
we have the Kuki, we have the Maitis, we have the Nagas,
mm,
we have the Apadami tribe from Arunachal, we
mm,
have the Garo, Khasi, Jayantyada from Meghalaya,
mm,
we have the Des Burmans from Tripura, we have so many people. We have the Mizos, we also have the We have every tribe for that matter. We have the Chakmas also. We have everyone in the
Yes.
Assam Rifles together. We all fight
Hmm.
shoulder to shoulder. And not just, we had the Gurkhas, not just from the northeast part of India. We have Assam Rifles now as all India force.
Hmm.
So I have followed their traditions, their cultures.
Hmm.
My best friends are from the northeast part of India. Yeah?
Yes. Hmm. I'm very sorry, Major Saab, but because now situation is, we never expected we'll have this kind of situation in Manipur, especially among the Kukis and Meitei. And then just imagine overnight, if you're living in Delhi and overnight you have you and your family, which you feel sick, which you think that, which you feel that Delhi will be the most secure part of India, in the capital city. You have been driven out overnight by a certain kind of a certain community. What will you think of it? And then they now, or Meiteis, they claim that Kukis are living in Imphal, and Nagas and Kukis are living in Imphal. They made lots of unnecessary. They made lots of claims, but we live in Imphal because it is in capital of the state. If we are part of Manipur, and if we cannot live in Imphal, then what is the use of being part of part of Manipur? Now we have been driven off from the capital itself. We never, Kukis never live in Thobal, Bishnupur, or yes, Kakching. Or we have no villages in their area. We live in Imphal because it is a capital, a state capital. And now they have driven us out from Imphal. So we are now never part of Manipur anymore. And Mr. Saab, let me also mention one critical point when it comes to Moray. Moray, it was predominantly, Moray is inhabited by the Kukis and the Nagas. Nagas. I have to be more honest. But after 2000, Naga population was less, and when classes happened in 1990s, they have left Moray, and now among the tribals, Kukis are the only community that is living in Moray. And if Moray population out of 100, Kukis are 80%, and the rest are other community. And the Meitei, they started coming to Moray in the early 80s only, when Moray, that BDO Moray was created after it has been taken out from Tignopal, my village, and it has been, what is say, transferred to Moray. There onward, there are certain Meitei employees who came, who serve in that department, and later on they started buying piece of land and they started settling in Moray. And those Meiteis are good people. And what happens in the early part of 2000, the Meitei militants has been started. The government, state government, central government has started driving out these Meitei militants from Valley area, and then they have started coming from Valley to that started coming to running away from Valley and started taking shelter in Burma. There onward, they implanted some of their overground people in Moray. Some run restaurant, and it was financed by the Meitei militants. Some run hotels, it was financed by the Meitei militants. Some in Moray, some school that is established in Moray, it was financed by Meitei underground people. So those are the people who are, what they say, in supporting inside, they are supporting the Meitei underground, Meitei militants in living in inside Burma. And this kind of modus operandi of the Meitei militants has been well known by Indian security forces and everyone in the security establishment. And when now, what happened is, now when the entire Meitei population has left in Moray, now the state government plus the Meitei organization, they are now desperately trying to bring in those Meitei people in Moray again, so that they this with the help of those population, they can sustain their successionist movement in Manipur. So now, with no population of Meitei in Moray town, the Meitei militants who are living across India in Burma, taking shelter under the blessing of the military junta in Burma, they have been totally lost. There is no communication, medium of communication between Meitei militants and Meitei community. So because of that, they are taking so much initiative to resettle those Meitei who had left Moreh now to Moreh again. And for that, they are they're pumping in Meitei commando personnel and officers. In Moreh Commando Tinopal district, we have SP. Every district has one SP. But just imagine in Tinopal, there is 3 SP. The main SP of Tinopal is non-Manipuri. Okay, he's Mayang. You know Mayang, no? He's Mayang.
Yeah, I'm a Mayank.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
Mayank.
Mayang. So he's a mainland Indian. And the other 2 SP rank officers are Meiteis. And the
You
SDPO, the police
you know,
OC, the inspector, everyone is Meitei intentionally. And then they are trying to capture Moreh forcefully from the Kuki people by using the state machinery. And in the meantime, they they now when they have to conduct certain kind of search operation, the state government, they force the army to go along with the state security commandos. And if the firing come from Kuki village
you know,
volunteers,
you're such a senior member, so I'll call
yeah,
you Ooh. Okay, I'll call you
no, no,
Ooh.
no, no, don't call me O, just call me Benjamin, please, please,
Okay,
please.
fine, fine. Ooh, Benjamin. Okay,
Huh.
okay. So tell you one thing that I personally feel, okay, that is my
Hmm,
belief that, what does a common man, a common
hmm,
human being want? Everybody in the world wants peace. You want peace. Everybody
hmm,
wants peace. I know it's very difficult. It's not something like in school, guys don't fight, shake hands, become friends, hug each other, say sorry, and become friends. I know it's not that as simple as that. I know that. I know the complexity and the intricacies that involved. But we all want peace from inside. Like a simple cookie. If I
hmm,
have to ask a simple cookie, he wants
hmm,
peace, and he would not be knowing why they're fighting. If I have to ask a simple Maite, what does he want? He wants peace. He would not be knowing why they're fighting. But there is so much of bad blood, a poison and hatred has spread, unfortunately, sadly. When I say my heart bleeds for the northeast part of India, I not just mean the cookies or Nagas or Maites or Manipur only. I mean the entire northeast part of India, which I find very beautiful. People talk about Maldives and people talk about Lakshadweep, and there's a lot of talk about. I say, how many of you have explored the most exotic location in the world? I would say, not India, in the world. That's the northeast part of India. Many people haven't explored that, unfortunately. So now, and I personally feel that's my belief that dialogue is the only way forward. By ooh, ooh, Benjamin. I say
yeah,
dialogue is the only way forward. And trust me when I say this, and trust me, you see, I am a very neutral person. I am not on the cookies side or on the mighty side. I'm on the truth. I'm in touch with the truth, and I want peace to prevail. I don't want bloodshed. I generally do. I've seen ample of it in the army. I've been in the Indo-Pak border for 2 years, and I've fought at the border. I've risked my life on several occasions. Before coming to the northeast part of India, I was in JNK for a couple of years. So it's been, I know how it feels. I have personally informed people in their families when I dial them. I would say that your loved one, your father, your brother, your husband is no more in the world. I know the pain. So don't you think, sir? Somehow, I know it's very difficult to get the parties to talk. But don't you think, in a way, dialogue could be the way forward, sir?
yeah, dialogue has to be the way forward, but in the terms that there has to be a separate administration for the Kuki, because now when we talk about peace, now Meitei are at peace and Kukis are also at peace, despite the Meitei they used to attack the buffer zone, Kuki buffer zone area. And if the government can stop that, there is complete peace in Valley and only in Moreh. Even in Moreh also, if they take back these Meitei personnel, police personnel and officers, then instead of that, if they send in some neutral Nagas and Kukis, mix of Nagas and Kukis to be deployed in Moreh, then it will be complete peace. There will be no issue. And plus, now Kukis living in Lamka, Kampopi, and Tinapal district, it is a complete peace. So even for Metis also, they are living peacefully in Infal Valley only. So now we are demanding, what we are demanding is as an administration in Kuki area, Kukizo area. We have no administration anymore. The state government, as I mentioned, it has been one community government in Infal, so we cannot be a part of that kind of government. And most of our IPS officer and IS officer, they have been transferred off either in central government or they have been posted in Kuki area, or some of the IPS officers they have left and joined some in other forces. They got deputation other forces. Just imagine that even high-ranking police officers are not safe in Infal. Then just imagine for the common people, how can we we say that we'll be safe in Infal? So now the only resolution for peace is I request the central government to listen to what to the demand made by all, especially our leaders, the SO group and the MLAs. They're demanding administration in Kuki area, separate administration. That has to be done uh, without delay. That has to be implemented without delay, so that there is some sense of administration governance in Kukizo area. And now just imagine that in just few days, what happened was, after the violence started, we cannot most of the administration has also collapsed between the hills and the valley. So immediately, for the sake of the Kokizo students in the hills, Kokizo area, most of the school, they affiliated their schools to CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education. And after CBSE has given them due recognition of recognition to be affiliated, permission to be affiliated with CBSE. Now Manipur government, what they did was they suspended the JDO who had recommended for affiliation of that school to CBSE, and then they specially asked CBSE to cancel that affiliation. Just imagine that. So now they want to kill the future of thousands of Kukizo students in Manipur, in Kuki area, Kukizo area, the Manipur government. So that is the kind of, with that kind of what is say bullying and that kind of partiality that is with still with the state government. So talking about peace right now, peace, yes, we can talk about peace, but first to restore peace, there has to be an administration in Kukizo area. It should not be mixed up with the administration in Meitei area, Manipur Valley. So, or thereafter, then we can have that peace talk. Without that, Major, I'm a very positive person, but I don't see any solution coming forward. And now, if the government, central government, doesn't install that administration in Kukizo area as soon as possible, chaos, more worrisome things will come up. I'm telling you. So now, once, even in the family, when the child needs an attention, and if the mothers and father doesn't listen, they do stupid things. You get attention from their parents. They do lots of stupid things. So you know, even that things may come up, which we really don't want that. So immediate installation of administration in Kuki Zo area, which is totally separate from Manipur, will be the best way for resolution of peace in that area. Yes, sir.
Right.
Hmm.
Right, sir. it's been I in fact today there was a statement from the security advisor, Mr. Kuldeep Singh,
Yeah.
in fact.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
what where he mentioned about there could be a possibility of a foreign hand in the entire problem.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
much do you agree with his statement, sir?
No, security advisor made that statement out of pressure, Major.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, yeah, out of pressure, out of
You think
pressure.
so? You
Yeah,
think that?
just
Okay.
Major, when the in the early part of the conflict, you know that there is one lieutenant general, retired lieutenant general in Manipur from Meitei community, LNC,
I know Lieutenant
and
Alan Singh.
yeah,
I know Lieutenant
in,
Consul Himalaya Singh as well.
yeah, no, the Himalaya is not the one that I'm talking about. The other one, LNC, and
I know.
we used to be part of the manifesto
Let
committee.
me stop you. If you are going to be speaking anything about any of my
No,
brother
no, no,
officers, yes,
no, no,
yes.
no, 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 no. I just want to cite one example.
Oops, the internet has gone off. Okay, he's back.
Yeah,
Sorry, sorry.
in his Twitter account, there are longi clad yeah, Myanmar, what they say, militants coming inside and fighting, and later on he deleted his post and then he apologized in one of the social media.
Oh, is it
So
so?
now,
I wasn't aware of this.
now,
I wasn't
now,
aware of
now
this. But
yeah,
okay.
he have posted lots of things, but he have now deleted. It is very good for him. And now what happened is the if suppose if militant groups from across the border has to be part of the conflict, there is a room for that. In the sense that thousands of Meitei militants, PLA, and then a fraction of UNLF, PRIPA, KYKL, you name it, all these are officially banned by MHA, Minister of Home Affairs. It is in their website. This organization, there are terrorist group. They're taking shelter. They are taking shelter inside Burma, with under the blessing of the military junta. And these militant organizations, the security forces, they very well knew that this militant organization had a linkage with the Chinese Chinese agency, and some have linkage with the Pakistan ISI also. They are taking shelter inside Burma for the past many years already, like Arfa in Assam. Okay, they are part of they are in the same group. So if there has been report that these most of these around a few hundreds of these people have crossed the border and they have joined the conflict in the present conflict. But on the part of cookies or people, just forget about taking help from this Myanmar Revolutionary Organization. We don't even take help from our suspension operation group also. Even our suspension operation group was now in the camp, designated camp. We don't even request those people to join the conflict. Now most of the self-defense, they what is it, the conflict, most of the fighting, whatever have cross fighting happened with the Meitei commandos and the Kuki in More, it happens between the village volunteers and the state forces. Not all the state forces, Meitei police commando. So the statement of security advisor of Manipur, if you see in the last few days, when he came from Delhi and was interviewed by state and central media, he flatly denied that there is no involvement of arms organized from foreign countries. And later on, after he made that statement, lots of Meitei's women folks, Meitei CSOs, they started demanding removal of Mr. Kuldeep Singh from the post of security advisor and to hand over the unified command power to the chief minister again. And now later on, in yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he held a press conference, and even in that press conference also, he didn't confirm that there is involvement of uh, armed organization from a different country. He just said that we got a report intelligence report that these armed militants could have involved in this conflict, but there is no confirmation. He still said that. So, and he said, even he mentioned that just to please the Meitei population who have been protesting for his removal. So this is the kind of situation that we are living in now. Even they accuse Assam Rifle of siding with the Kukis. Just imagine that it was the Assam Rifle who first shot down 3 Kuki women protesters in Lamka. It was the Assam Rifle force who shot, who killed 2 Kuki boys in Moray in the initial protest when they went out and burned the Meitei houses in Moray. And Assam Rifles so far never shot any Meitei woman or man in Imphal Valley. And still they are saying that Assam Rifles are siding with the Kuki, Central Security Force are
Assam
not
Rifle
neutral.
is very neutral. Army is very neutral. People see.
Mm,
I get accused if I am interviewing. I have friends from Meiteis also, Naga also, Kuki also. You know, it's fair enough. If
mm,
I'm interviewing a Kuki, the somebody else may not like it. If I'm interviewing
mm,
a Meitei, somebody else may not like it. If
mm,
I'm so the very fact is, I was in my I speak on geopolitics on television as a defense analyst many times.
mm.
On
Yeah.
I was speaking on the Russia, Ukraine, and of late I've been
Mm,
speaking on the
yeah.
Israel, Hamas, and now I've been speaking on the Iran and Pakistan problem. And so I, because of my love for the northeast part of India, out of my own, I compromised on my actual work. I took out
Mm,
my time, and because I found mainstream media was not covering Manipur, the attention that Manipur deserves.
mm.
I'm not saying
Yes, yes,
Meiteis or
yes.
Kukis or Nagas. I'm saying
Yeah, yeah.
Manipur, right?
Mm,
The
mm,
attention that Manipur deserves,
mm,
the rich state that it is, the fine people, the cultured people, the principled people, people who stand by the word, who don't cheat people, who are honest, who are hardworking, are all from
mm,
the northeast part of India. That's been my
mm,
experience. And I
mm.
love them. I love every single tribe, every
And
single community in the northeast
and,
part
and
of India.
Major, let me interject one thing. Just imagine that there was some kind of a sane voice from Meitei community also, like Mr. Bablu Loitambam. He speak out the fake, and now just imagine what they have done to him. What they have done to him. Now he has
No,
been totally silent. His house has been unfortunately attacked. So
no,
you
see,
see,
the very
with
fact
that
is,
kind of
see,
action, then hoping for some kind of resolution is totally right now impossible. And
see, I
and then
so
Major Sab,
I was
yeah,
just telling you about Army and the Assam Rifles. They're doing such a neutral job. So
and
they will only protect anybody who's been victimized. Anybody
yes,
who's
yes,
been
yes,
victimized,
yes.
they will protect.
And then
I
major, what happened is now the majority they have major population in the Meitei, they have the major population. So they want to dictate even the army, the perspective of the army, everyone. They want to dictate all the system to go against the Kuki. And thank a lot, we are thankful to the Central Security Forces that they are still maintaining their neutrality. They are not even siding with the Kuki. In Moray, just imagine in Moray, the Assam Rifle, they have fired mortars against all village volunteers. And then some of the valley people, they are still demanding removal of Assam Rifle from Manipur because they are siding with the Kuki. And as I said, we have already faced casualty from the
so their network, yes,
Indian
I think
armies
your
are
network is
against
playing
us,
up,
or
sir.
yeah, we
Yeah.
never blame Assam Rifle or Central Security Forces. And even in a last live discussion, I told some of the panelists that if they think that the security forces are biased and security prospect of security situation scenario has already collapsed in Manipur, why then they convince the Meitei community to allow to impose president rule in Manipur? Why are they scared of imposition of president rule and giving power to the army? And we Kuki people have always welcomed president rule in Manipur, though it is not happening. So that shows but one particular community is totally against imposition of PR, president rule. If you analyze the motive of that particular community, you can see the result. They're kind
You
of,
know,
what is say, what kind of mentality they are having.
you
Because
know, sir,
if they are scared of
we
central
can,
security forces, if they are scared of central security forces, that means they are breathing something against India, and we
no,
have
sir.
nothing
You know
against
what?
India, so we
You
don't
know
mind.
what? You know what? I would urge leaders from both the communities, from Maite community and Kuki tribe as well, to come forward and talk. If not in Manipur, in Delhi, my house is most welcome. Come over to my house. We can discuss. We can talk. Trust me. I love people from and the I know when I say I generally love everybody from Manipur, irrespective of the tribe, community, area, region, religion, village where they're from. So the very fact is, and people might say, if I'm interviewing, I've taken a lot of interviews of Maites, in fact, a lot of them. If you go through my YouTube channel, you'll find so many interviews of Maites and of neutral people as well, people who have served there, of minds like me, in fact, I would say that. So the very fact, and when people accuse the army or the Assam Rifles of taking sides, that's not the case. I don't take sides. I love everyone. I love the Maitis a lot. I think they're very good people. They really are. See, I think I love the cookies. I love the Nagas. There's a miscommunication somewhere. And that miscommunication, that gap has to be bridged. I really feel so. I really feel that gap of communication has to be bridged and peace has to prevail. Come on, 8 months. 8 months is like a very long. I don't want my brothers and sisters in Manipur to bleed. I don't want that. I don't wish that to happen at all. And I don't know why the mainstream media, they do not like covering, especially northeast part of India, the attention it deserves. So I said, in my little way, I don't want to tell how many sacrifices I have made today. Right now, what the time is 10:30 right now. We are sitting here and we're talking. I have not had dinner as yet. We are talking because of our love and concern. Now, it's
Exactly.
very simple for anyone to make a loose remark and comment.
Salute, salute.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So the very fact is, we really, and some solution has to be worked. And I really want to come forward and contribute whatever little bit I can. It's difficult for my brothers and sisters in Manipur. Once again, I'm reinstating when I say my brothers and sisters in Manipur, I mean everyone, the Maites, the Naga, the Cookies, everyone. They all are wonderful people. You all are wonderful. I love Manipur. That's why I keep saying, I Nanganungshi Manipur.
It's good to have that.
I got a bit emotional because I love
Mm,
you all. I love
mm,
everyone from Manipur, in
mm,
fact.
mm.
Right, sir?
And thank
Ji.
you so much. Mm.
Sir, thank you very much. It was
Well,
wonderful conversation with you.
Dr.
And
Dr. Ali, I really appreciate the kind of sacrifice that you have made to bring in the voice of different communities, and you have been always neutral in your dealings, and then the kind of commitment you have for our country, and that which is same with us, and we share the kind of nationalism that you have. And then you and I, yes, I, for the viewers also, uh, Major Ali and the Kuki people will never do anything that will break the integrity of India. They will hurt the sentiment of India. That I can promise all the viewers. But I cannot talk about other people. But for the Cookies or community and Major Ali, we will always stood by Indian flag. We will never do anything that is against India or that can hurt India. That I can assure all the viewers today.
thank you very much. I mean, see, we have 5 fingers in the hand,
Yeah,
five
yeah.
fingers. One finger also gets wounded, gets fractured, gets hurt. We can't clinch a wrist. We
Mm,
cannot give a knockout punch. We cannot stand strong. We stand
mm,
strong. Josh, कहाँ से आता है? जोश
exactly,
कहाँ से आता है?
exactly,
So
exactly.
people ask me, where do you get the energy from?
Mm,
I say, because we are one. I'm an Indian. I'm
mm,
proud to be an Indian. We
mm,
all are one.
mm,
And I hope and pray for a really peaceful tomorrow, sir. Thank you
mm.
very much, sir,
Thank you
for
so much.
a very insightful conversation. Jai Hind,
Mm.
sir.
That's Jai Hind, Major Ali. Thank you so much. Mm,
Thank you, sir.
mm.